In this video, we'll look at the concept of percent yield and how we can perform calculations involving percent yield in a chemical reaction. So first off, what is percent yield? Well, it's a formula that takes the actual or laboratory value for a product, dividing it by the theoretical or the stoichiometric amount of product that is produced. And then since it's a percentage, we times by 100. So percent yield is a measure of how much product you received in the lab as compared to how much you should have received based on the stoichiometry. Remember, stoichiometry is a theoretical amount. So stoichiometry is that recipe amount. Oftentimes in the lab, we don't get the recipe amount. And this could be because we spill things, or our balance is not calibrated accurately, or we just measured something incorrectly. So percent yield is a good test of, number one, your lab skills. How careful are you to make sure you're not spilling anything, or your balances are accurate. And it also kind of brings to life the real life idea that, stoichiometric amounts are never what we actually get in the lab. You might remember I started off this unit on stoichiometry by talking about cookies, right? And how the recipe amount for a cookie recipe says you should get 2 dozen cookies or 24 cookies. Well, I am good at measuring my ingredients. I do measure the right amount of flour and the right amount of baking soda and baking powder and sugar. But I never get the 24 cookies. I always get about 20. So my percent yield runs about 83%. Because I get, in the actual world, I get 20 cookies. Theoretically, I should get 24. So I'm running about 83, 84% yield. Now, I know what the problem is. The problem is I'm making my cookies too large, right? They say your cookies should be about a tablespoon in size. Well, I like to make them a little larger than that. So I take a little more dough than 1 tablespoon per cookie. So I can find what my error is. I make my cookies too large. So that's a good example, real life example of like percent yield. The actual amount you get, which in my case would be 20 cookies, divided by a theoretical amount, which would be the stoichiometric amount, or the recipe amount, which would be 24 cookies, times 100 gives you percent. Now, you can take grams or moles when you look at these numbers for the actual or the theoretical. You can measure the amount in grams or the amount in moles, as long as you're consistent. They both have to be grams or they both have to be moles, because you can't divide apples by oranges, right? The other thing to point out here is percent yield is about the yield of a product. It's not about how much reactant you're using. So when you use this formula, actual divided by theoretical, you always have to be looking at the amount of a product, not the amount of a reactant, okay? So that's an important point to make about products. All right, let's take a look at our first example, problem 1. We'll do 2 problems in this video, and then you'll spend the rest of your time looking at the packet, and I think there's 3 or 4 problems in there to work. So problem number 1, 0.25 moles of oxygen reacts with excess propane in a combustion reaction producing 2.15 grams of water. Calculate the percent yield of this reaction. So the percent yield, you might say, the percent yield of what? What chemical are we talking about? Well, we have to be talking about a product. And in this case, the only chemical product they give us is water. So we have to be looking at the percent yield of water. Okay? So let's write our formula. Percent yield of water would equal the actual amount divided by the theoretical amount times 100. They give me 2.15 grams. That's the actual amount that I produced, because it said producing 2.15 grams. So that 2.15 is my actual amount. So that goes in the numerator. The theoretical amount, I don't know what that is yet. Once I can calculate that, then I can calculate a percent yield. The theoretical amount, remember, is based on stoichiometry. So we have to do a stoichiometric calculation to get the actual, the theoretical amount of water that should be produced. So what is that going to be based on? It's going to be based on my 0.250 moles of oxygen. So the 0.250 moles of oxygen should produce a theoretical amount of water. I want to calculate what that amount is. When I do that, that becomes my denominator in the percent yield formula. First thing we have to do, of course, is write a balanced equation. And then we're going to do some stoichiometry, converting the oxygen over to water, and then go to grams and plug that number in at the end. So first, our balanced equation, right? C3H8 plus O2 makes CO2 and H2O. I'll balance it. I see 3 carbons. I'll put a 3 here. I see 8 hydrogens. I'll put a 4 here. Adding up these oxygens, it adds up to 10. So that's 5 there. So based on the stoichiometry, 0.250 moles of moles of oxygen reacts in a 5 to 4 mole ratio, or mole recipe. The 4 moles of water are produced from 5 moles of oxygen. And actually not equals, let's go all the way to grams, because I need to put a gram number in here. So let's use molar mass. 1 mole of water is 18 grams. And all that comes out to be 3.60 grams of water. So my stoichiometry says, in a perfect world, the theoretical amount of water that should be produced from 0.250 moles of oxygen with excess propane is 3.60. So there's my denominator in the original percent yield fraction. So percent yield, we'll finish up the problem, is going to be the 2.15 grams of water that I got in the lab divided by the 3.60 grams of water that I should have received in a perfect world based on stoichiometry. And that comes out to be 59.7% yield of water. Okay, watch your sig figs. Given number had 3 sig figs, so I kept 3 in my answer. The calculation for percent yield had 2 numbers. Both of them had 3 sig figs, so I keep 3 sig figs. Notice how I labeled grams. You want to label those grams because they cancel out, making the percentage a unitless number. And that's how to solve a basic percent yield problem. Now, what about a more advanced percent yield problem? Let's take a look at that. So problem number 2 says the decomposition of aluminum chloride into its elements runs at an 84% yield. How many moles of aluminum chloride are required to produce 15 grams of chlorine gas in the lab? So this one has a little different feel because they don't want to know the percent yield, they give you the percent yield. And they want to know how many moles of reactant are needed to produce this many grams of chlorine gas in the lab. So let's think about what we have so far. We have the percent yield, and we have this 15 grams. Now, since it says to produce 15 grams in the lab, this is my actual yield, not my theoretical. This is what you actually want to get. You want to get 15 grams. So I can take my percent yield formula. Percent yield, again, this is percent yield of Cl2, right? That's the chemical we're looking at. You can only do a percent yield formula with a product equals the 15 grams that I actually got over X, which is, I don't know what the theoretical yield is, but they say it runs at an 84% yield. So I can set up actual over X equals 0.840. And when I solve for X, I get 17.9 grams Cl2. This would be my theoretical yield. The first step I took is I realized they gave me the percent yield. They gave me the actual amount of chlorine gas. I can calculate the theoretical amount. And that theoretical amount would be 17.9 grams. So now I can do some stoichiometry to convert this theoretical yield into the amount of aluminum chloride needed to produce it. Remember, stoichiometry is always about theoretical amounts. See this 15 grams that the problem gave me? You cannot use that in a stoichiometry problem because it's not a theoretical amount, it's an actual amount. So again, whenever you do a stoichiometry problem using a mole recipe, you have to always use theoretical amounts. So that's why I used the percent yield formula first to calculate the theoretical amount of Cl2 that would be produced. Let's write a balanced equation so that I can convert that grams of chlorine gas into moles of aluminum chloride. So AlCl3's decomposition looks like this. Balance the equation, 2, 2, and a 3. All right, 17.9 grams Cl2 multiply by 1 mole of Cl2 over 71 grams to convert grams to moles. The mole recipe is 3 moles of chlorine gas are produced from 2 moles of AlCl3. And they want moles, so I don't need to do another molar mass. I'm done here. That comes out to be 0.168 moles AlCl3. So in order to produce the 15 grams of chlorine gas in the lab, I need to use 0.168 moles of AlCl3. My stoichiometry always calculates the theoretical amount of either a product or, in this case, a reactant. The mistake here would be to use the 15 grams and convert that into AlCl3. That would be a mistake because if you use 15 grams, that assumes the reaction runs at 100%. But it doesn't, it runs at 84%. So I need to calculate the actual amount of chlorine gas. I'm sorry, the theoretical amount of chlorine gas that would be produced. And then do that calculation with stoichiometry to get the theoretical amount of AlCl3. So again, stoichiometry, you're always using theoretical amounts, but percent yield is a way to convert an actual amount into a theoretical amount if you're given what the value of the percent yield